Hello, this is Kickstart Analytics, and today we'll be discussing how to kickstart your analytics with market basket analysis and data visualization using the tools R and RShiny. Market basket analysis is focused on giving us a richer understanding of our customers and their purchasing behavior. We do this by looking at our entire data set of customer transactions to identify sets of items that tend to be purchased together. For example, cake mix and frosting, or shampoo and conditioner. When we understand the relationships among the products our customers buy, we can serve them better. We can make it easier for them to buy the products they want by adjusting product placement and signage. We can also provide incentives to encourage more purchases of related products by coordinating promotions or loyalty offers, or by distributing in-store coupons. To illustrate some practical applications of market basket analysis, we'll take a look at a sanitized, real-world grocery data set provided by the data science company Denumbi. And we'll take a look at 2 years of frequent shopper data representing 2,500 households across 2.6 million transactions and 92,000 unique products. The scenario we'll discuss is that of Social Market, a fictional regional grocery store chain with several hundred locations. Social Market is hoping to better understand its customers and to enable customer-centric marketing efforts by better understanding the patterns and relationships among the products that its customers purchase. Social Market also wants to leverage some prior customer segmentation analysis that had been completed in order to understand how product relationships may differ depending upon customer segment. We implement market basket analysis by developing a set of product association rules. Each rule makes a connection between a set of products. For example, by stating that a customer purchasing baby diapers is likely to also purchase baby wipes. We generate a long list of rules and then use 3 measures of interestingness to filter the rules. First, we look at support. How popular is the item set? When an item set is generating high sales, then it's probably relevant to look at from a revenue maximization standpoint. Next, we look at confidence. How likely is it that the rule will apply? When a rule comes with high confidence, meaning that there's a high probability that the items will be purchased together, we want to look very closely at product placement to make it as easy as possible for the customer to buy the item set. Next, we look at lift. How much more popular is the item set than we would have expected by looking at the individual sales of the items? So in the case of diapers and wipes, how much more frequently do we see diapers and wipes purchased together in the same transaction than we would have expected by looking at the sales of diapers and wipes separately? When we see a very high lift, then that suggests that there's a very strong relationship between the products. And any lift that is greater than 1 tells us that there is some kind of relationship. So basically that a purchase of the item on the left, diapers in this case, is associated with a greater probability that the item on the right will also be purchased. One way to better understand the practical meaning of support, confidence, and lift is to visually review a set of product association rules. For Social Market, we can do this by reviewing the web-based visualization app that we have deployed as a tool for Social Market's merchandising team, using the RShiny application. And because this is an interactive tool, we can set the parameters that work best for us. So we'll start out by looking at the top 100 rules as ranked by support. And we'll set the minimum confidence level of 30% and the minimum lift at 3. And we'll see what we get. We have here a scatter plot with confidence on the vertical axis and support on the horizontal axis. Each dot represents one individual product association rule, and the color of the dots indicates the lift. We can see the scale on the right, where a dark red dot in this case indicates a lift of about 50, and a light gray dot indicates a lift of well below 10. So to look at some of the dots that are shaded darker, we see a strong rule here between frosting and layer cake mix. Unsurprisingly, a customer that purchases frosting is likely to also purchase layer cake mix. We see the reverse rule as well, although it's a little bit lower in confidence. A customer purchasing layer cake mix is likely to also purchase frosting. We see another rule here with conditioner and shampoo. A customer purchasing conditioner is likely to also purchase shampoo. The reverse is true, but again, lower in confidence. So a customer purchasing shampoo is 40% likely to also purchase conditioner. We can see that most of the dots are clustered toward the left end of the chart as well as the bottom, but we do have some outliers in terms of support. So at the very far right of the chart, we see that customers purchasing kids cereal are 33% likely to also purchase mainstream white bread. So it's not a rule that we're highly confident in, but at the same time, it is a rule that has a high degree of support, so it is worth looking at because the sales are significant. Another way to look at the patterns in these rules is in matrix form. And what's helpful about matrix form is it highlights where we have products that repeat again and again in the association rules. So in this case, we have the right-hand side of the rule along the vertical axis and the left-hand side of the rule along the horizontal axis. So each little rectangle represents one intersection between products on the right and left-hand side of a rule. So the rule that I'm highlighting here says that customers purchasing canned green peas are likely to also purchase canned corn. Now we can see that in some cases, there are items that repeat along the vertical axis. So, for example, we have a rule here that customers purchasing stewed, diced, or creamed tomatoes are likely to also purchase canned kidney or pinto beans. If we drop down along the vertical axis, we can see that also customers purchasing canned tomatoes are likely to also purchase shredded cheese. So in this case, tomatoes is repeating more than once on the left-hand side in the top 100 rules. And we can see that we have a couple of items that repeat again and again on the horizontal axis. So first we have shredded cheese. Mexican seasoning mixes predict purchase of shredded cheese, but it's also predicted by canned tomatoes, canned kidney or pinto beans, gravy, and it goes on from there. And in the row below, we see white bread on the right-hand side. So mainstream white bread is predicted by natural bulk cheese, canned corn, green beans, and many, many items that repeat all the way along the horizontal axis. To look more closely at the product association rules that are generating the greatest support, we'll narrow down our set of rules from 100 to the top 15. And we can continue looking in the form of a matrix, or we can take a look at the relationships between the products in the form of a network diagram. Our network diagram shows the relationships between the products in the form of nodes and arrows between the nodes connecting multiple products. So for example, this red node notes the product paper towels and holders. We follow the arrow to see a gray node that's noting the connection between paper towels and another product. Continue following the arrow to see the right-hand side of the rule, which is toilet tissue. So in this case, paper towels and holders are predictive of likely purchase of toilet tissue. This set of rules is kind of off to the side. It's not connected to the other top 15 rules. We also see another group of products off to the side involving pasta, shredded cheese, and sour cream. So purchase of pasta sauce indicates a likely purchase of dry spaghetti and vice versa. And pasta sauce also predicts the purchase of shredded cheese. Sour cream also predicts the purchase of shredded cheese. So all these items are connected in that way. And then we see a group of products all centered around mainstream white bread. So for example, macaroni and cheese dinners, multi-pack snack cake, potatoes, margarine, processed single cheese slices, bologna, all predict the purchase of mainstream white bread. So it's interesting to see, again, white bread at the center with so many products relating to it. We saw that in the top 100 rules, but we're still seeing it in the top 15. So we can look more closely at our customer segments to determine whether this is specific to a certain segment or whether we're seeing it more broadly. And what we find is we're seeing it broadly. So for example, we have here segment 1, ad-conscious meat lovers. And again, we see mainstream white bread with a number of items circling around it. The same type of items we saw before. Bologna, macaroni and cheese dinners, multi-pack snack cake, processed cheese slices. We see something similar as well in segments 2 and 3. Segment 4 is a little bit small, so we don't have enough data to look at that one. But in segment 5, we see a different story. So segment 5, the shelf price spenders, we see cottage cheese, yogurt, blueberries and strawberries, natural bulk cheese, but no white bread to be found. We see a pattern here where the products that tend to predict purchase of mainstream white bread tend to be lower cost and or processed items. This indicates that the type of bakery products purchased by Social Market's customers may be indicative of their overall shopping habits and preferences. This inference is supported by the fact that we see no evidence of this relationship in the shelf price spender segment, which tends to be more oriented toward fresh produce and refrigerated products. We can further examine our product associations by looking at the product rules that show us the greatest lift. So we'll look at 20 rules ranked by lift. We'll increase the minimum confidence to 35%. And zooming in, we see a number of relationships: shampoo and conditioners, baby food, canned pears and canned peaches, layer cake mix and frosting, and we see a cluster of items involving Mexican seasoning mix, sour cream, shredded cheese, taco shells, tortilla and nacho chips, and salsa. So we'll focus more on these set of items by filtering the left-hand side on what Social Market terms the Hispanic category. And to get a cleaner look, we'll narrow it down to just 10 rules. So we can see that at the center of this set of rules, we have salsa and we have shredded cheese, as well as seasoning mix. Here's shredded cheese. And there's seasoning mix in there as well. So the relationships for these products are so intertwined that it's pretty difficult to look at in the network form. We'll take a look in the form of a matrix. And here we can see that the matrix shows us only 2 rows. So it's hard to tell in this messy network diagram, but basically there's 2 items on the right-hand side: Mexican seasoning mixes and salsa. So there's a set of items that predict purchase of Mexican seasoning mix. Here we've got shredded cheese and tacos, tacos on their own, shredded cheese, salsa and sour cream, salsa and sour cream, and it goes on from there. Here we've got a combination of items that predicts purchase of salsa. We've got tortilla nacho chips, shredded cheese, seasoning mix. And here we've got tortilla or nacho chips and seasoning mix. As we saw from our review of the charts, purchase of items on the left-hand side of this slide predicts greater likelihood of purchase of the items on the right, Mexican seasoning mix or salsa. Interestingly, we found once again that this relationship holds for all segments except segment 5, shelf price spenders. This suggests that the shelf price spenders may have different shopping habits and preferences than the remaining Social Market customers. It would be worth looking at more closely to ensure that the needs of this segment are being met. We recommend that Social Market implement the web-based visualization app provided to adopt market basket analysis broadly across its merchandising team. The power of this analysis lies not in the product relationships illustrated in this discussion, but in integrating this analysis in day-to-day decisions across product placement, promotional planning, and marketing. By understanding cross-product relationships, Social Market can optimize product placement, ensuring that customers have easy access to the products that they wish to purchase. Another opportunity involves coordination of promotions across related products to increase cross-selling. Finally, Social Market can further leverage this analysis if it chooses to venture into the online grocery channel, generating personalized, real-time product recommendations based on the contents of a customer's cart. If you have further questions about the analysis presented here, please feel free to visit our website